very good afternoon to all of you. Thanks for joining us here on The Big Story. I'm Afrida Rahman Ali, tracking all the latest developments for you coming from New Delhi as well as from Punjab. Two important developments happening right now. There's information that Captain Amarinder Singh might quit the Congress party. Awaiting a formal confirmation on that, awaiting an official announcement. But reports suggest that Captain Amarinder Singh tells a media house he has decided to quit Congress, but he will not join the BJP. There is also growing political buzz that the captain is likely to start his own party instead of joining any existing one. That's the big breaking news coming in. Captain Amarinder Singh is disclosing to a certain extent his next line of action, but he says he's planning to float his own party. Joining the BJP is also being ruled out, but a decision to quit Congress is being taken. That is the latest that we are tracking here on Mirror Now. Big story here at 3 p.m. Captain Amarinder Singh tells a media house he's quitting Congress party.
कांग्रेस के साथ नहीं जुड़ा हुआ हूं और अब से कुछ ही देर में वो यहां दिल्ली से वापस पंजाब जा रहे हैं और एक नई पारी होगी। एक वो स्ट्रेटेजिक जो टाइम आउट था वो अब पंजाब कांग्रेस का शुरू हो चुका है, क्योंकि अब उनके साथ कैप्टन नहीं है। अब वो कैप्टन लेस जो टीम है उसके लिए खेल रहे हैं। कुछ खिलाड़ी हैं, चाहे वो सिद्धू हो चन्नी हो, वो खिलाड़ी आपस में भी इस वक्त बातचीत कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जो कैप्टन थे अब वो उनके साथ नहीं रहे।
Okay, so this is again a new development now that we are talking about, where we are looking at the next move of Captain Amarinder Singh. Prior to this, we also received information that leaders like Ambika Soni and Kamal Nath were delegated to pacify Captain Amarinder Singh, and there were certain indications that the party was trying to woo him back. However, Captain Amarinder Singh says now that he has decided to leave Congress, but he is not going to join the BJP. So does that mean that he will now start and float his own political party ahead of the Punjab state elections? So Punjab Congress imbroglio continues. On one hand, we are looking at a development of a truce being attempted by Chief Minister Charanjit Channi with Sidhu, where a meeting is lined up. In fact, 3 o'clock was the time given to us when the meeting was supposed to take place at the Chief Minister's residence in Chandigarh. Sidhu made it very clear that he is willing and eager to meet Charanjit Singh Channi. However, the Congress High Command again has given out all indications that they are in no hurry, or rather there is no inclination to retain Sidhu. No such effort is being made to placate him. Of course, he is proven to be a liability with the kind of unpredictability displayed as the Congress chief of Punjab. So there again, it is unclear what transpires in that meeting and what decisions are taken.
तरह से उनकी मुलाकात थी गृह मंत्री से, उसके बाद एनएस अजीत डोभाल से मुलाकात थी। हालांकि जब वो आने वाले थे दिल्ली, तब उन्होंने कहा था कि ये मेरी पर्सनल मुलाकात है, मैं अपने पर्सनल कामों से आ रहा हूं। पर जिस तरह से वो एक संदेश उन्होंने अपनी तरफ से भेजने की कोशिश की है वो बहुत अहम थे। वो एक संदेश भेजकर आज वो वापस से दिल्ली जा रहे हैं। 2 दिन का उनका यह दौरा था, लेकिन ये आज तक के उनके राजनीतिक करियर में शायद सबसे जा रहे के साथ एक खिलाड़ी की तरह खेलेंगे। वो अकेले अपनी टीम को लेकर आगे चलेंगे और इस वक्त अब वो यहां से रवाना हो चुके हैं अपने घर से। यानी कि आज वो अभी इस वक्त परनीत कौर के घर पे, अपनी पत्नी के घर पे थे, जो कि सांसद है पटियाला से, उनके घर से अब वो इस वक्त चंडीगढ़ के लिए रवाना हो रहे हैं। और अगर मैं आपको बताऊं तो यहां पर किसका
Okay, developing situation there. Captain Amarinder Singh, my colleague was just mentioning, is now leaving for Punjab. He met his MP wife there in Delhi. At the moment, reports indicate that the captain has released a statement saying that he is leaving the Congress party, not joining the BJP, might start his own party, also saying that the Congress is going downhill. Let me introduce Dr. Kanwalpreet, political analyst with us on the show now. Dr. Kanwalpreet, good afternoon. Major developments there, but in terms of what the captain has decided and made very clear that he's not joining the BJP, and he has taken a decision to quit the Congress party. How do you look at this? What would be the most prudent move for Captain Amarinder Singh at this point?
Synergistically,
command is finally trying to get its act together and sending Ambika Soni, a highly regarded leader, respected leader by Captain Amarinder Singh, sending the leadership to appease Captain Amarinder. They want him back because he's been a strong soldier of the Congress party. And on the other hand, I think Navjot Sidhu, being firm with Mr. Navjot Sidhu, with the result that he is going to meet the Chief Minister of Punjab, Mr. Channi, today. I think the Congress has realized that there's been too much tamasha, as you have written in your headlines, and they cannot afford it. Now, regarding it's been a bit setback that Captain Amarinder Singh has removed the name Congress from his Twitter account. He's not joining the BJP. Well, I think the reports might have stalled. His joining the BJP might have been stalled because of it's just a wild guess, but because of the farmers' protest. And if Captain Amarinder Singh is planning to start his own party, float his own party, well, the time is too short, I feel. And he has had this experience of floating a party long time back, and he did not get much success, the Shiromani Akali Dal Panthik party, which merged with the Congress later. So the time is very short, I think, to float a new party. And it might be that for a week or so, he is in political wilderness. He's trying to find what he can do with the elections around the corner. And meanwhile, wait for what happens. We have to, and he also might be waiting to see what is the result of the talks between Navjot Sidhu and Chief Minister Channi. Now, Navjot Sidhu going for talks is a very healthy development, thank God. That's what the people of Punjab have been telling, through different shows and all that. Go and talk, resolve the issues. Well, if there are some appointments you don't like or they are tainted, and he's been telling the people that there some appointments are tainted, they're not in good taste, talk it out with the Chief Minister, who has been reaching out to you, and respect the post of the Chief Minister. Don't try to be a super CM. So everybody has to act responsibly, and I think everybody has started acting responsibly. And it's very nice. I read somewhere that ultimately
yes, Dr. Kavalpreet, what is clear is that two kind of truce is right now playing out. One between Charanjit Singh and Sidhu. Whether he decides to withdraw his resignation remains to be seen. The other kind of truce, like you mentioned, is senior leaders like Ambika Soni and Kamal Nath. Would they try to woo the captain back into the fold? Right now, the captain is saying, I am going to quit. Well, the official version of whether he has quit or not has not been made public, but like you said, yes, from his Twitter account, he has removed Congress. By all indications, what we see now is that the Congress party has squandered an opportunity here in terms of the next coming elections, where a party that was looking extremely stable a couple of months ago now looks in complete disarray. And not just that, we don't know under whose leadership will the party now contest the state elections, you think?
Of course, they have no choice. They will contest. I was having great hopes, and I had been saying this somewhere in many places that the Congress would try to woo back Captain Amarinder Singh. But I knew that I had a wild guess that 80% he would not return. 20% he might have returned for the sake of Punjab. That has not materialized, but and the other question which I thought that if he returns, if he decides, if he's, if there's some formula, carved out as to how to adjust him in the party, because you can't just remove Chief Minister Channi again and have Captain Amarinder Singh as Chief Minister again. Then the question would be, in what position would they, appoint him again?
Yes.
Which position would be there again for a person who was the Chief Minister? And then you have sort of, as he says, humiliated him. Now he's out, and then you are calling him back, you know. So then how would you adjust him? Then that would lead to more complications, a different set of combination and permutations, that who would lead in the next election, how would what would the position of Mr. Channi? Of course, Mr. Channi, I think, would regard Captain Amarinder Singh very highly, and would agree to step back also under such a towering leader. And Mr. Channi himself, I believe, in all these days, I've seen him. I've never followed him really,
Yes.
but he's been very calm and composed and slowly asserting himself. He's not aggressive. He's not aggressive, but he knows his place, you know. So, being the accidental chief minister, he knows how to go about the
Yes.
work. Now,
Okay.
if Amarinder Singh had come back, if Kamal Nath and
Okay,
Amrinder
so
and
it may not be such a bad idea to project him as the chief ministerial candidate, which the Congress party already had said at one point earlier that elections will be fought both under Sidhu and Channi. Now that, of course, will change with the resignation of Sidhu. I want to bring in Mr. K.V. Prasad, senior journalist, also joining us. Mr. Prasad, is too much being made of the exits of Amarinder Singh and Sidhu? Because Captain Amarinder Singh, by all accounts, his popularity was on the decline. Also in terms of Sidhu, we all know, by all indications, again, extremely mercurial. He has a tendency to go public with his grievances and, the open revolt, etc. Is the implosion part that is being spoken about so much, is this a reality or is it overstated? Is it good riddance in a way for the Congress party, as some would say, at least in the case of Sidhu?
The situation remains very clear. The Congress party's move to change a leadership in Punjab. The party chief, which happened somewhere in July, much against the wishes of the Congress chief minister and a vociferous section of the senior leaders. They went ahead and did it with a certain game plan, hopefully. Now, just about a week or 10 days ago, you have the captain asked to step down, or whether he stepped down on his own or whatever. There could be many speculations to it, but the manner in which it was effected surely left a very bitter taste in the mouth of a very senior veteran Congress leader. He certainly has minced no words about it. He has made it very clear that he feels humiliated. Now, this drama played out not because of it was the sheer ineptitude of Congress crisis managers to deal with the situation. A, to allow a situation to come to a crisis. B, they could have avoided it by planning the whole in a much, much better fashion. Well, now that has passed the prime. Now you are dealing with a different kind of a situation. The captain has already played his chess game, if I were to say that. He's moved his pieces. He's today made it clear that he's out of Congress. He's made it clear that he's not joining the BJP. So he's given his own doors. He's showed. Whether he forms his own party or what he does will be known in a matter of time, but that looks a logical move for the captain to go ahead. So I think today, whether implosion or what, it is a problem created by the Congress party for itself, and they'll have to deal with it. I don't think at this stage of time to put somebody as senior as Ambika Soni and Kamal Nath is going to make a difference to captain's understanding, because he is clear. Just a quick if you go back 2017, he said these very many things to Congress, then Congress President Rahul Gandhi, that if he was not to be declared as the chief who is going to lead the party, he is going to form his own government, own party. So I don't think there is any confusion in captain's mind. So this is where the stage is there. So let's take it. Congress will have to take it forward.
Yes. Yes, Dr. Kanwalpreet, do you agree? I mean, I was referring to this also earlier, that has the Congress squandered a huge opportunity for a state like Punjab, where they had a firm footing and a huge leverage over the BJP. Look what has happened. I mean, clearly at this point of time, like Mr. Prasad is saying, the crisis managers have failed miserably. I mean, one can understand one error of judgment, but here there is a series of them, each proving to be costlier than the other.
Totally, I totally agree. I think everybody said they would be voting for the Congress. You know, there was a very big chunk of majority saying that we will vote for the Congress, and yes, they have squandered their golden chance of coming back to power just because of this factionalism. And I don't think I've ever, being a student of political science and dealing with Punjab, I don't think I have seen factionalism of this huge magnitude in the recent past. No way, it has been, this drama is complicated, is being getting complicated every day. And not only, I think we've gone enough downhill. I can just hope that from today onwards, Ambika Soni and Kamal Nathji going and meeting Amarinder Singh, trying to appease him, and on the other side we have this meeting. I hope things start building up now, but the damage has been done, believe me. The damage has been done for the Congress party. Now they will just, I would be very astonished if they are even there in the race. They finish second or third, unless a miracle happens. They do something stupendous. I think it's a lost case for them, because Sidhu has his arguments. Mr. Channi is of course quiet, but Captain Amarinder Singh, if he floats a party, well, there's going to be further exodus, and a lot of people will leave the Congress. Some may leave the other parties also. A lot depends upon the captain's leadership also. He floated as I just told you, he floated Shiromani Akali Dal Panthik Party once upon a time, which was not a great success. People haven't forgotten that. And Captain Amarinder Singh was doing very well with the Congress, and Congress was doing very well with the captain at its helm. This nice equation has gone for a toss, and I don't think the situation can be salvaged very easily, because the drama is just not stopping. It's just going on and on. One, as they say, one googly after the other.
But to what extent will it dent the party's prospects, Mr. Prasad? Because in the bargain, even if we were to assume that in the bargain the party loses both Captain Amarinder Singh and Sidhu, will they really inflict that kind of damage to the party? I mean, there is this side who believes that the captain has outlived his utility, he's 80 years old, his popularity was on the decline. Sidhu, as we can all see, has proven to be a liability for a man of his mercurial nature. Anyway, it is untenable to have someone like him at the helm of affairs. So, with these two exits, is the party really in tatters, or do you think that there might be something to gain from all of this, with Channi now taking over the situation, consolidating Dalit votes? In any case, either of them moving to the rival parties may not help them, given the reasons that I just mentioned.
I would look at it in two ways, one institutionally and one individually, or a personality base. Now, politics of Punjab has a mix of both, but in this case, we'll have to look at it. There is a committed Congress vote in Punjab that has been proven time and again. Now, part of it was with Captain, part of it was the organization itself. What I see today is, if a Congress had calculated, as we read and we gathered from many news reports, is that he was going downhill. Surely he had lost his popularity. I can say that we have had this kind of instances very many in the past too. Now, Captain's style of functioning has not changed in the last 25 years I have known him. He has always been this way. So today, to pull it on him, I think it's okay. You want to show an exit door, you always can pull up an issue. Now, if the Congress wanted to build up on a new leadership, it did pretty, very close to elections. It's always a very, very dicey kind of a politics. As I was mentioning in some other place other day, Congress did it in '96. They changed the chief minister just few minutes ago by bringing Rajacharan Kaur Bhattal. It flopped. They just ended up 14 seats. Now, the biggest, there are two, I don't think the BJP is a big player in Punjab. No. The contest essentially will be between the Shiromani Akali Dal and BSP on one part, and the Aam Aadmi Party, which is making a very, very determined bid to find its space. It had, or rather consolidate from where it was as a leading party in the opposition. Now, between these two stools was the Congress standing in between. With the Congress vote getting scattered, and let me put it, as I see it, Captain, if he floats a different party, I'm not referring to the earlier edition of the Panthik, because those were different days. Now, Punjab has seen Captain Amarinder Singh in two spells as a chief minister and as a leader. So they have a fairly understanding of who this man is, number one. Number two, if you were to float a party, the damage potential would be far greater to the Congress. That's what is going to make a difference. Shani plus everything else being in place, the damage potential that Captain can inflict would be far greater for the Congress party to deal with.
Okay. Right, that's a very good point, and we'll talk about that. Let's take a short break. The damage that Captain can inflict with a new party will be much bigger, is what Mr. K.V. Prasad is telling us. Stay with us, stay with us, ma'am. I'll come back to this discussion. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.